Hey guys, welcome to another ITL. I thought I would go over some elements of distortion. This will be more an introductory thing to distortion. Um, Distortion is basically, like we said several times, it's a bad term because it implies like the Elephant Man or something. And really, distortion is a rich collection of harmonics. It's like harmonic distortion. Sometimes called THD, total harmonic distortion, which is a measure of the amount of harmonic coloration, and it's described in terms of first order, second order, third order, blah, 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 blah. Go to Google, type in audio distortion. The first 4 or 5 pages that come up have real good stuff. I'm going to show you one of them. This is, Will's going to put up the website. It's like the third or fourth one, but there's a lot of good information here, and we're not going to delve in that today. But if you notice, basically he says that Moyer has found that distortion due to clipping of a 4 millisecond tone burst reached about 10% before it was detectable, but increasing the pulse length to 20 milliseconds reduced the just detectable distortion point to around 0.3%. Think about that. That's a pretty bold statement. So let me show you something else. What we have here is this is a basic square wave and then a little bit of a sine wave. It's the same thing as here, but this is the website, and I just wanted you to see it clearly. Now on this green wave, this is the same wave as above, except this green wave has gone through a high-pass filter. But Dave, a high-pass filter isn't distortion. Yes, it is. It's distorting the wave. You see what's happening to this square wave? It's sloping down. That's what a high-pass filter does to the sound. It can actually be a distortion. The blue and the purple one is a low-pass filter. Now, you can see this represents a capacitor. This is a resistor. We call this an RC network. It's a time constant network that's used a lot in electronics, and in this way, it's shunting certain frequencies to ground through this circuit. You don't need to know that. I'm just showing off. Now on the pink one, that would be characteristic of a tube circuit. Now a tube circuit has a low amount of harmonics are generated in that circuit, so that's actually adding distortion. But over time we consider that color, and in the analog world, color is good. In the digital world, for some reason, color is bad. Don't know why. I never got the memo. And then the orange one is a hard clip. Now, when you clip the sound, you're generating harmonics, you're generating color, and that's what the orange one is showing you. You can tell that by the graph here, as opposed to this graph. Okay, enough technical stuff. Basically, all we give a crap about is what it sounds like. I'm going to play some examples from something I just recently mixed with the artist Dream. Some of these settings I inherited from Pat Thrall, who's an incredible engineer, producer, extraordinaire, and so thank you, Pat. I'm using some of the plugins that you gave, and some of them are things I added myself. Here's a little extra vocal. Okay, now that was in the track. This is it. Okay. Now what we added was a limiter. Our old buddy, just to take out a little bit of 1250, and then a little EQ. Now that's pretty cool, but now I added the fux box. Cool, and then with a little delay. that's one use of distortion. Now let's see, let's look for a bright blue track. Here we go, kick drum. Now what I did on this kick drum was, it was pretty good. So let's take this stuff off. This is without anything. Now I added the Kramer, Waves Kramer PIE. This thing's magical. Waves API. Now to add a little distortion, I'm using the Massey tape head plug-in. Watch. Oh my gosh. Okay, and then our old buddy Stephen Slate add a little bit of the trigger, and then here's my parallel path feeding from here to here. Nothing radical on the parallel path, but then we're adding. Okay, so you can see how that Massey plugin was adding a little bit of tape distortion. Now the analog guys prefer not to call it tape distortion, it's tape color, sorry. Okay, now here's the synth that we had in the track. Pat had a pitch blender. I can't remember if Pat did this or me. I think it's me because it's my rap squash setting. And then a little E6. Now I wanted to add a little color, so what I did was I copied the track. I think I did this, Pat might have done it, but what's important is this is an overdrive distortion guitar pedal from Waves. So let's add that in. Without it. With it. Only it. Okay, so you can see how we're using distortion to add some color, add some clarity, help your ear find it. One last one. This is a synth part. Now this is a different kind of distortion. I thought that was pretty good. So our old buddy Matthew Lane, the Dr. MS plug-in, this is a preset of mine. This is adding a little bit of color and distortion and middle side manipulation. Then I use the double lock. This is Sound Toys. This is basically an emulation of an over-compressed mic, but with a cheap compressor, and it creates harmonic distortion. Watch this. So you see here, we're talking about color. We're talking about colors. Now I'm going to load up another session, so if you'll hang on a minute, Will.